Hello, today I'm joined by my guest Simon King from ScannerSign. Simon, how are you doing?
Good morning, David. Very, very well, thank you. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be involved in this.
It is our great pleasure. We find you at an opportune moment because we were talking off camera a little bit about how, in general terms, QR codes are not a new thing, but they have been around for a while, but they are enjoying a renaissance at the moment. They seem to very much be at the forefront of anything marketing and advertising wise. You told me something quite interesting in terms of how it all started out. Perhaps you could give us a little bit of background to how ScannerSign came around.
We've had an involvement with QR codes for over a decade. It started off with doing contracts for companies for asset tracking, for basically scanning a QR code and taking them off to a destination or to an app that could then control and monitor activity. From then, we've moved into doing review cards. We've done them for further asset tracking and a lot of fire doors. Yeah, we've seen, as you say, a resurgence in the amount of people using them, especially given the technology available, but also the familiarity, the need for people to say, I want immediate results. They scan and they get to where they want to be.
And so it's interesting, isn't it? Because you see all sorts of marketing, not just within the property sector, but just generally, if you go about your day to day, or you open up a newspaper or magazines these days, you will come across a QR code pretty quickly. And I suppose the beauty of it is that we know that everybody has at least one of these
Yeah,
in their hand at any one time. So we are much more used as consumers, I think, to using mobile as that first point of inquiry for any service or product that we're after. So I suppose there's no surprise that QR codes have got that resurgence.
absolutely. As I say, as soon as somebody uses them once, they understand the technology, they understand how easy it is. And as I say, as you rightly point out, every smartphone, there's no app involved anymore. Literally use the camera, scan, and it gets delivered.
And so in terms of your work that you're doing to help estate agents, that has a very practical ramification. Tell us a little bit about that.
It started with walking the streets and seeing properties and looking and thinking, oh, that looks an interesting property, and struggling to find it online, or at least struggling to find out when you're outside the property. And that put us thinking, how can we use QR codes to solve that problem? It then came about to say, well, an estate agent board is, you don't want to put a QR code on an estate agent board and then throw it in the bin. So hence that's where the editable side comes in and the dashboard was developed. But that was it basically. You're a stranger in town, you're looking to move to that area, you don't know the area, you find a property, how do you get to it? How do you see those details? Or how do you share them? And that's where the mobile phone and the QR code comes in.
So I presume that therefore sort of gives the agent that is displaying those QR codes on their boards, it's an instant offering, isn't it? That people can just take a snap of it. It then takes them off to a link to really wherever you want to take them, but
Yeah,
ostensibly to the details of that property.
absolutely.
And you get to capture that passing interest, really, people walking past the board. Because you're right, I think a lot of people do drive past boards or they walk past boards and think, oh, that's interesting, I'll check that out later. But you're relying on them to remember it. And you're relying on them to remember precisely where the property was and what it was. This gives them that instant access.
Absolutely. Sometimes you search by postcode, but if you're a person that's out of town, you don't know the postcode, you might not even know the area. So absolutely, it's the immediacy of saying, I want to find out about it. The QR code enables that.
So you mentioned the dashboard before. So I suppose the dashboard takes us over that issue of the QR code being the only QR code for that particular property. You can repurpose that QR code later on down the line. So if you have it printed on a board, for instance, you can repurpose that to another property address, presumably.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can edit the QR codes as many times as you like. Each QR code comes with a unique identifier, so that you would talk to the people that put your signs up and say, number 123, put it to that property, copy and paste the URL, whether that be your website, whether it be on another platform, put it into the dashboard and save, and literally that QR code will then take anybody scanning it off to the property.
That's superb. I noticed
Hmm.
that you play well with others. So you have a couple of interesting partnerships going on. One which is, I think, quite seems fairly natural. So Kramer Signs, one of the bigger producers of boards for estate agents. And also, what was quite interesting as well is that you've also got integrations with people like Repeat, so major sort of CRM providers. Explain to us the importance of those partnerships for you.
So when we came up with the idea, with my printing background, I thought, well, the first thing you think of is, every great idea, you've got to test to make sure it's watertight.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was to reach out to Kramer Signs and say, if you were to be given a stream of QR codes, could you easily print them? And we had a natural thumbs up. And from there on, we've had a brilliant relationship with them. They understand what we do. We understand what they do. And it works perfectly. Repeat, we met at a meeting and we were explaining what we do. And we've now got a partnership in place where if you're a Repeat customer, you can integrate our system easily into theirs. So QR codes automatically get produced and allocated to properties via an API.
So on the back of all of this, you've obviously got quite a decent dashboard for managing this whole process, and it does integrate with other things, which is a breath of fresh air for agents.
Yeah.
We have lots of tech and lots of solutions. We love it when they talk to each other. So that's great. But you've also got some data, I think, off the back of that you're able to provide sort of insights to agents that are using this in terms of perhaps viewing trends and the insights that you're able to generate there. Talk to us about that click counter.
So every QR code, when it's generated, resets and it's a click counter. So wherever that QR code is used, whether it be in an LED, whether it's in a window, whether it's on a sign itself, every click is picked up and displayed on the dashboard, so that you can see in an instant that board particular or that QR code has had 35 clicks or 105 clicks. And we just found that was a really good thing for an agency to have to offer feedback to people that are inquiring how's my property doing. There's tangible data.
Yeah.
If they wanted to use it to say, well, actually, let's split test and see which different areas are getting more scans than others, types of property. It's very simple. It's purely a click base, but it's up to the agent to see, well, how do they use that data?
And so there are massive advantages, aren't there, to both the customers that the agents are serving, because they're making life more straightforward. So if you are looking to view a property, you get straight to the property details that you want without having to get lost. The actual people selling those properties or letting those properties, there's a benefit to them because the agent is actually able to funnel traffic specifically to that property, rather than we always used to take it that boards were fantastic advertisements, not necessarily for individual properties, but for the agent themselves. This sort of flips that concept on its head and sort of gives that sense of immediacy, but also direct connection to the property address that they're marketing.
Absolutely. And I think the other advantage is, as an agent that's looking to get more and more properties on their books, if you're the one that's got this as an extra sort of a feather to your cap, if you like, that serves as another benefit that the potential client can see. They understand that they're going to every length possible to market their property and to get more views, basically.
So this is also a great solution that doesn't cost the earth. It's quite affordable and easy to use. So just talk to us about your pricing structure a little bit.
It's based on seats. So if you're if it's just a single agency, $29.95 per month, and that gets you unlimited QR codes, unlimited edits, all the support you need. If you then want to add, extra seats, then it's $19.95 thereafter. Of course, if there's an agency with multiple, a huge amount of offices, then we're open to talking about getting an agency account set up for them as well.
And
We try to pitch it so it's affordable, basically.
And I understand there's discounted rates and sort of deals available for repeat customers as well, which is a natural kind of ally because you've got that link up there as well. So it's easy to get into. And how quickly, if I was desperate to employ this today, how quickly could I get up and running with it, Simon?
As long as it takes you to type your details in.
Okay,
that's it. Literally is as soon as you complete the transaction, you fill in a form, you enter your details, and your dashboard is there, live, ready, and waiting to go.
Fantastic. Well, Simon, thank you very much for giving us your time today.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me onto this. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.